I have to do a lot of editing to this video after, but it's okay. It's okay. Wait, I got too many things going on. Hold on. There we go. Live now, audio. Great. So everything that I had prepared, it's all right. It's okay. We're going to figure it out anyway. So this is not it. Where am I? I'm here where I wanted to be. But oh, I can't see the chat like I can. So, oh wait, maybe I can do it over here. Yeah, there we go. Hey guys, hey, I'm here. Bear with me. I have no idea what that was. I have no idea. Like literally, I'm sitting here and I'm like, why is my face not on the screen? What is this commercial? Like they should give you a heads up if that's gonna be the first thing that ever happens when you hit live, right? Like, come on. Oh, thank you, Andrew, Pepper. Hey, Free Flow, D Wolf. Hey guys. Hey, bear with me. I need to send out this link now that I have another link to send out. Because oh Lord Almighty. What am I doing with my life? Oh, Yeshua. All right. Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. It's okay. It's okay. Is this the new link? I wish I had like some music or something to give you guys. Yes, that is the link. Hey, Kingdom Truther. Tonight's topic is Kings Dethroned. As soon as I can get this sent out, I need to let everybody know where we're at. I tried. REL will read. I am going to be reading. Live now. I appreciate y'all's patience. You're so awesome. Look at my face. Oh my gosh, my face on the thumbnail. It is not anything that I thought it was going to happen. It's all good though. It's all good in the hood. Live now. And I had all of these. We're just so ready to go. I saw my... Oh, I'm not going to sing that. No, we're not going to sing that at all. How was y'all's day? Let me just fill the air. Fill the air. Let me... Oh, can I delete that? Yes, I can. Who else came? Hey, Chainsaw Cat. How are you doing today? Glad to see you. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do super chats, Andrew. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Apparently, I don't even know how. Okay. in my own defense, I did use a new streaming service. I was trying to use Restream. Have you guys used Restream before? Last time I used StreamYard, and I had a free like trial with that, but my trial was over, so I was trying something different. And when I hit go live, it gave me this whole tutorial. Like, what was that? Flat Earth, Subgenius Society. Hello, sir. Hello. I'm so honored to have you join me. Thank you. I apologize. I need to finish this. My OCD will not will not be okay if I don't do this. But I hope that everyone had a great winter solstice, beginning of winter solstice. How's that? I really thought that the end of the age might be today or tomorrow, and I was kind of really hoping that I could quit my job today. I'm not gonna lie. I was really hoping I could quit my job today. Not that my job isn't, good or anything, or that I'm wishing for the end of the world. No, not that. But it would be nice. It would make things a lot simpler if Yeshua would just come back already, and I wouldn't have to worry about making monopoly money to do things. And but I'm all set and ready to read, except for doing this, so that people can find me where I am right now. You guys are so troopers. I appreciate you so much. Oh my gosh. I love being in the chats, and I appreciate you guys for showing up. All right. Oh, hey, Austin, you made it. Hey, guys. I didn't even get to do anything that I wanted. So welcome to REL Reads Rainbows. This is the first week, and you got to start with complications your first week. That's how it goes. We just roll with the punches. When life throws lemons at you, you grab them suckers and you squeeze the shit out of them, so you get some juice, and you find some sugar somewhere, and you make it work. So, everyone, we are going to be reading King's Dethroned. I'm going to drop a link in the chat in case you want to follow along. I have a couple different ones. These are, what is the word? They're like PDF books, kind of, sort of. So hopefully one of these will work for you if you click on it, and you can read along with me. Give you a couple different ones just in case one doesn't work for you. You can try another one. Yes, please. Yes, please, Gregory Johnson. I don't want to wait. I'm ready now. I've got, a couple $100 to my name that I could put towards, my little corner of land or whatnot. Let's get this apocalypse rolling. Let's start now. Okay, so King's Dethroned is not a long book. The only thing about this, so I was in the Innerverse. That's what? Let me make sure I say the right name. Yeah, the Innerverse chat with Chance, and I was talking about King's Dethroned, the book that we're going to go ahead and start reading. And somebody, let me just go ahead and let me see if I can pull it up. What he said. He was talking about triangles and the 90-degree angles. Y'all, geometry is not my strong suit. I'm not a math person. Okay, I made it all the way through to algebra 2 in high school just to have them fail me and send me back to pre-algebra, go through it all again before I even got to geometry, and then I fuzzed my way through that because the teacher liked me, and I had a way with words. See, I'm good with words, I can write well, but numbers, and then if you add letters to the numbers, and then shapes and everything, it's just so. As I read this book, I'm going to be stopping to make sure I understand what it's saying because I I have to take my time to get through it. Okay? So, anybody else have that? Kingdom Trip. You've never heard of this book. Okay, okay. So this book is a history of the evolution of astronomy from the time of the Roman Empire up to the present day, showing it to be an amazing series of blunders founded upon an era made in the 2nd century BC. So that's what this book is about. It is written by Gerrard Hickson, if I'm saying that name correctly. I'm going to start with the preface because the preface is pretty interesting. And if I don't understand a word, I'm going to go ahead and look it up and all that stuff. Light went up for me, Austin. Light went up for me. I can't do that right now because words will not be coming out of my mouth. Okay, words would not be coming out of my mouth. It would be gibberish. It would be gibberish. I want to find that, guys. Are you guys in Telegram? Do you guys have a Telegram chat? I know, Austin, you're in the Telegram, and I know Flat Earth Subgenius is. There's just so many people. There's in some of these chats. I can't find it all. It's hard to keep up with them all. But anyway, that'll be for another time. I want to go ahead and dig in because I feel like I've flustered from not being able to start right away or when I wanted to. Yes, Telegram is the best. I love it. I love being able to save too. So that's another thing. So I'm in a ton of different chats, but whenever I find something good, like people send great videos to watch, and I just save them. My little saved tab or whatever in Telegram is full. I hope they don't ever tell me that I can't save any more messages because I have so many great videos that people send. And Austin, I saw some of the stuff that you posted today, and I am gonna watch it. Dude. I love reading and educating myself on all that stuff. Okay, all right, but before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and pray. I'm going to get my mind together because I'm still not used to this, and I want to push through. I feel like it's been an uphill battle this week. I'm working on my calves, you guys. Working on my calves up the hill, Life is a roller coaster, right? And you got to take the dips with the highs as it comes. So, Jehovah, Yeshua, I am so nervous. I don't know why talking in front of people always, people say that I do it okay, but it just makes me nervous, and all of these things don't go right, and I feel so anxious, but it's okay. I give all of my anxiety to you. Father, I ask that as I read, that I can take my time and that I can comprehend the words. I pray that the words that I do speak will resonate with somebody. I pray that we ask lots of questions and that you just lead us down the path of your mystery, because that's what we're trying to unfold, Yeshua, is your mystery. Trying to find the actual truth of this realm, of this plane that you have put us on. That's what I want to learn. That's what I want to know. Lead me in the correct path. That's all I've ever wanted. And help me not to pay attention to anything else on the sidelines, including my own, self-detrimental, mindset that I have. Put those blinders on me, Yeshua, and just keep my eyes focused on you and focused on what's going on. I thank you so much, Father, for every single person who has come tonight. Any person who's going to be watching this, I just pray a hedge of protection around them in their sphere where they are. Just put your blessings over them and shine down on them. Let them feel your love and your joy and your peace, and put them on your path. Give them everything they need, God. You know everything that these people need, and just I just pray that you bless them and may your face shine on them, and may they be safe as they travel. And I don't think there's anything else that I need to do. I think I'm ready to read. So, Yeshua, I just invite you to be with me this day as I read through this book, and be with the rest of us. Okay. All right. I feel better. So sometimes you just gotta you just gotta get going, right? So I feel better. All right. So you guys ready to go? What are y'all saying? Sphere. I meant this like atmosphere. Okay, not this sphere as in circle sphere. Let me knock my glasses off my face. I meant like this atmosphere, this realm. I'm sorry, okay? I was praying and I knew what I meant. Yeshua knew what I meant. No, I'm kidding. Okay. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with the preface. In the year of 1907. Sorry, I got confused. Oh, REL. Yeah, yes. REL, REL, the phonetic pronunciation. All right, let me not get distracted. So, starting over, the preface. In the year of 1907, the author made a remarkable discovery which convinced him that the sun was very much nearer to the earth than was generally supposed. The fact he had discovered was demonstrated beyond all doubt, so that he was compelled to believe that, however improbable it might seem, astronomers had made a mistake when they estimated the distance of the sun to be 93 millions of miles away. He then proceeded to examine the means by which the sun's distance had been computed, and found an astonishing error in the diurnal method. Diurnal. Diurnal. I don't know what that means. Anybody know what that means? Writing this down. Diurnal. Anyway, so he found an astonishing error in the diurnal method of measurement by parallax, which had been invented by Dr. Halley in the early part of the 18th century, and which this book was used by a Sir David Gill in measuring the distance to the planet of Mars in 1877. 1877, we're talking about back in the day, from which he deduced his solar polarics of 8.80. So what I'm understanding from this little paragraph here is that the author of this book read another book which somebody else used to measure the distance of the planet from Mars. And that whole thing is where he says that there's a issue. Okay. And everybody with me so far? How is everybody doing? Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I know. Atlantic, y'all. Who is, put a 1 in the chat if you're gonna be in Florida the night before. Are you going to be in Florida on the 31st? Put a 1 in the chat if you are, because we gotta go. We gotta link up, bro. We're gonna bring in the new year all weekend. Oh yes, Aaron, we're gonna do it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna dress up. I'm gonna go out. We're gonna find something to do. We might not drink. We might not do anything. I don't care if we just walk around. I don't care if we just sit around and talk. We gonna bring in the new year. Yes, yes, yes. Let us do it. Oh, Andrew, zero. Does that mean you're not gonna come at all? Or does that mean you meant to push one and you're gonna be there? Because I hope you can come. I hope you're there. Okay, so back to what this stream is about before I get sidetracked again. Okay, so seeing that Sir Norman Lockyer, seeing that Sir Norman Lockyer had said that the distance to and the dimensions of everything in the firmament except the moon depends upon Sir David Gill's measurement to Mars. The author set himself the tremendous task of proving the error, tracing its consequences up to the present day, and also tracing it backwards to the source from which it sprang. That's interesting. The result of that research is a most illuminating history of the evolution of astronomy from the time of the Roman Empire up to April of 1922, which is now placed in the hands of the people in King's Dethroned. So this book is an evolution of astronomy from the Roman Empire up until 1922. The author has taken the unusual course of submitting the new and startling theories for the consideration of the general public because the responsible scientific societies in London, Washington, and Paris failed to deal with the detailed accounts of the work which he forwarded to them in the spring of 1920. He believes that every newly discovered truth belongs in the whole of mankind. Wherefore, if those whose business it is to consider his work fail in their duty, he does not hesitate to bring it himself direct to the people, assured of their goodwill and fair judgment. Astronomy has been regarded as a study only for the few, but now all its strange terms and theories have been explained in the most lucid manner in King's Dethroned, so that everyone who reads will acquire a comprehensive knowledge of the science. The author takes this opportunity of assuring the reader that none esteems more highly than he himself the illustrious pioneers who devoted their genius to the building of astronomy, for he feels that even while pointing out their errors, he is but carrying on their work, striving, laboring even as they did, for the same good cause of progress in the interests of all. On the other hand, he thinks that astronomers living in the present time might have used to better purpose the greater and advantage. Oh, wait, what? On the other hand, he thinks that astronomers living at the present time might have used to better purpose the greater advantages which century provides, and done all he himself had done by fearless reasoning, devoted labor, and earnest seeking after truth. If that doesn't make you want to read this book, I don't know what does. So what I understand that this book is about. The author said, "Yo, there's somebody got a mistake wrong. Like you're basing your calculations of the moon off of his calculations on Mars, which are based off of his calculations on this incorrect calculation. So y'all are all wrong, and none of y'all want to admit it. So I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna put it in the hands of the public, and they're gonna say what is right and what is not right." As we know from the controllers, I mean, I had never heard of this book, and you can barely find this book. So let's dig into chapter 1. Oh gosh, you guys still with me? Everybody still good? Oh man. Hey, chat. Thanks. All right, so that was just the preface. Now I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 1. Chapter 1, When the World Was Young. 3,000 years ago, men believed the earth was supported by gigantic pillars. The sun rose in the east every morning, passed overhead, and sank in the west every evening. Then it was supposed to pass between the pillars under the earth during the night and to reappear in the east again the next morning. This idea of the universe was upset by Pythagoras some 500 years before the birth of Christ, when he began to teach that the earth was round like a ball, with the sun going around it daily from east to west. And this theory had already about 400 this theory was already about 400 year old when Hipparchus, oh y'all, I'm bad with these names. Hipparchus. I'm going to stumble over these Greek names. Y'all can laugh at me. I don't care. Phonetic and all that stuff. Okay. So, sorry. This theory was already about 400 years old when Hipparchus, the great Greek scientist, took it up and developed it in the 2nd century. King the Truther, according to scriptures. Yes, I agreed. I love Rob Skiba's demonstration model of the flat earth. It's awesome. Hipparchus may be ranked among the score or so of the greatest scientists who have ever lived. I feel like we should, I'm going to say score. Four score and 20 years ago. I don't remember what score. I think score is 20. So he's only ranked among 20 or so of the greatest scientists who ever lived. He was the inventor of the system of measuring the distance to far off objects by triangulation. Oh, here we go. What's his name? What is his name? I have to figure it out. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. He was the inventor of the system of measuring the distance to far off objects by triangulation or trigonometry, which is used by your surveyors at the present day and which is the basis of all the methods of measuring distance which are used in modern astronomy. Using this method of his own invention, he measured from point to point on the surface of the earth and so laid the foundation of our present systems of geography. Using this method of his own invention, he measured from point to point of the surface of the earth and so laid the foundation of our present systems of geography, scientific map making, and navigation. So this one guy, this Hipparchus guy, he is the foundation of the systems of geography, scientific map making, and navigation. It would be well for those who are disposed to underestimate the value of new ideas to consider how much the world owes to the genius Hipparchus, and to try to conceive how we could have made progress as we know it without him. Smart guy. So we're going to talk about triangulation. Okay, so here's the triangle that they were trying to teach me today, and I wasn't getting it. So the principles of triangulation are very simple, but because it will be necessary as I proceed to show how modern astronomers have departed from them, I will explain them in detail. All right, so let me see. I'll show you guys the first diagram here. Can you see that? Diagram 1, you've got a triangle, regular triangle, and then a little skinny mini triangle. And you can't see it, but the numbers in the triangle were 60. So these are 60-degree angles in this first diagram. Every figure made up of three connected. Sorry, before I start, let me make sure. Thank you, Free Flow. Thank you. He said, you're reading way better than I would. I'm struggling. I'm trying not to think about it. Okay, so every figure made up of three connected lines is a tri or three angle, quite regardless of the length of its size. The triangle differs from all other shapes or figures in this, that the value of its three angles, when added together, admits of absolutely no variation. They always equal 180 degrees, while on the other hand, all other figures contain angles of 360 degrees or more. The triangle alone contains 180 degrees, and no other figure can be used for measuring distance. There is no alternative whatever, and therein lies its value. Okay, so we can only use triangulation and triangles to measure distance because of the 180 degrees, and every other shape has 360 degrees. Okay, but why? Why can we only use a triangle? It follows then that if we know the value of any two of the angles in a triangle, we can readily find the value of the third. Simple enough. By simply adding together the two known angles and subtracting the result from 180. The value of the third angle is necessarily the remainder. Thus, in our example in diagram 2, an angle of 90 degrees plus an angle of 60 degrees equals 150, which shows that the angle of the distant object or apex of the triangle must be 30. Here is diagram 2. 60 plus 60. Oh, no, sorry. That's 90 plus 60. So, plus 30. 90 plus 60 plus 30. 90 plus 60 equals 30. What am I saying? Oh, gosh. 90 degrees plus 60 equals 150 minus 100. Take that away from 180 gives you 30. 90 plus 60 equals 30. Now, if we know the length of the baseline, AB, in feet, yards, kilometers, or miles to be ascertained by actual measurement. And we also know the value of the two angles, which indicate the direction of a distant object as seen from A and B. We can readily complete the triangle and so find the length of its size. In this way, we can measure the height of a tree or church steeple from the ground or find the distance to a ship or lighthouse from the shore. The reader will perceive that to obtain any measurement by triangulation, it is absolutely necessary to have a baseline and to know its length exactly. It is evident also that the length of the baseline must bear a reasonable proportion to the dimensions of the triangle intended. That is to say, that the greater the distance of the object under observation, the longer the baseline should be in order to secure an accurate measurement. The greater the distance of the object under observation, the longer the baseline should be in order to secure an accurate measurement. A little reflection will now enable the reader to realize the difficulties which confront I can't with this guy's name. Hipparch. I'm just gonna call him Hipparch, and y'all know who I mean when I say Hipparch. Assuming no refraction is taking place. Assuming no refraction is taking place. Andrew, are you talking about with the greater the distance the object is under observation, the longer the baseline should be? Hippo arches. Was hippo arches. Where was I? A little reflection will now enable the reader to realize the difficulties which confronted Hipparchus when he attempted to measure the distance to the stars. Okay, so according to this, it's saying that he had a problem with measuring the distance to the stars because the greater the distance the object under observation, the longer the baseline of the measurement has to be. It was before the Roman conquest when the geography of the earth was little known, and there were none of the rapid means of traveling and communication which are in our disposal today. Psych. Yep, here's one little thing that all of us antiquitech people will readily say, not. Will readily say no. Hold on. Let me make a little. Let me make a little triangulation. Make a little note. Okay. Just a kitten on the name. So if I say hippo, Andrew, you know who I mean. Oh, man. Who is this? Oh, nobody. Ugh, I'm so mad that did not work. Okay, sorry. Let me go back. Where am I at? Okay. So, there were none of the rapid means of traveling and communication which are at our disposal today. Moreover, it was in the very early days of astronomy when there were fewer, if any, who could have helped Hippo in his work, while if he was to make a successful triangulation to any of the stars, it was essential that he should have a baseline thousands of miles in length, with an observer at each end, both taking observations to the same star at precisely the same second of time. Yeah, I don't know how he could have anybody hanging up in the stars. Phew. We tried to build a tower up there one time, it didn't work. The times in which he lived did not provide the conveniences which were necessary for his undertaking. The conditions were altogether impossible, and so it is not at all surprising that he failed to get any triangulations to the stars. As a result, he came to the conclusion that they must be too far off to be measured and said, "The heavenly bodies are infinitely distant." Quotes. Okay, so he said this in quotes. "The heavenly bodies are infinitely distant." Such an extraordinary conclusion arrived at by Hippo, and that statement of his lies at the root of astronomy and has led its advocates into an amazing series of blunders from that day to this. The whole future of the science of astronomy was affected by Hippo when he said the heavenly bodies are infinitely distant. And now, when I say that it is not so, the fate of astronomy hangs in the balance. It is a monumentous issue which will be decided in due course within these pages. That's big. That's big. So, Hipparchus, all he said, he didn't have the right equations to be able to measure the distance, so he just said they're too far away. They're way out there. And the entirety of the rest of the scientific discovery is based off of this one saying that they're far away. And that's what science is based off of. The next astronomer of special note is Saucing. I'm going to just type this in. Saucigenies. Socinus, who designed the Julian calendar in the reign of Caesar. He saw no fault in the theories of Hippo, but handed them on to Polyphemy. Polyphemy. Potts. It's the silent vowels. Ptolemy. Oh, I'm sorry. I put two T's. My bad. I'm gonna type it again without the T. Tolemy. Okay. Right, Andrew? Assumptions are very dangerous. They get people in trouble almost all the time. Hey, Dr. Law. Hey, welcome. Glad to see you. So excited. We don't have much longer before we can party. Pi told me. Thank you, Fat Girth. Thank you, Pi told me. I knew I had seen it or heard it before, but I got learning disabilities, so y'all just gonna have to bear with me. Tolme. Yeah. It's weird. So excited. Okay, let me go back. So where was I? Oh, okay, here we go. I'm gonna say Ptolemy. Ptolemy? I'm gonna say Ptolemy. So he saw no fault in the theories of Hippo, but handed them on to Ptolemy, an Egyptian astronomer of very exceptional ability who lived in the 2nd century AD. Taking up the theories of his Greek predecessor after 300 years, Ptolemy accepted them without question as the works of a master and developed them. Singularly gifted as he was to carry on the works of Hippo, his genius was of a different order. For while the Greek was the more original thinker and inventor, the Egyptian was the more accomplished artist in detail and the more skillful in the art of teaching. Undoubtedly, he was admittedly fitted to be the disciple of Hippo, and yet for the very reason he was the less likely to suspect or to discover any error in his master's work. In the most literal sense, he carried out that work, built upon it, elaborated it, and established the Ptolemaic system of astronomy so ably that it stood unchallenged and undisputed for 1400 years. And during all those centuries, the accepted theory of the universe was that the Earth was stationary, while the sun, moon, stars, and planets revolved around it daily. Having accepted the theories of Hippo in the bulk, it was but natural that Ptolemy should fail to discover the error I had pointed out, though even it. Wait, what? There's so many commas. Having accepted the theory of Hippo in the bulk, it was but natural that Ptolemy should fail to discover the error I had pointed out, though even had it been otherwise, it would have been as difficult for him to make a triangulation to the stars in the 2nd century AD as it had been for the inventor of triangulation himself 300 years earlier. However, it is a fact that he allowed the theory that the heavenly bodies are infinitely distant to remain unquestioned, and that was an error of the omission, which was ultimately to bring about the downfall of his own Ptolemaic system of astronomy. Oh my goodness. So, listen. Oh, hey, Slick. What's up, Slick? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Hey, Young Love. Oh, I'm glad you're still here. Hey, much love to you, sis. Oh my gosh, I need you to message me, Young Love. I know I'm getting way off topic, but I need your help for the name. You know what I'm talking about. We need a good name for the show, for the segment, and I need you to help me come up with that, because why not? Why not? Okay, I don't need any other reason to say that I need your help. So message me, email me. You got my contact info, sister. Help me brainstorm names for our secret project for next year. I'm excited. Okay. All right, so that was the end of chapter 1. So just to recap, we are recapping. There's this one dude, a Greek scientist named Hipparchus, and he invented triangulation. But he tried to use triangulation to figure out how far the stars were, and he couldn't figure it out because he didn't have all of the materials he needed to. So he just said the stars are so far away, they're just infinitely far away. And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, they're infinitely far away. So let's go off of that." And 300 years later, one of his prodigies was like, just continued and made up his whole thesis, I guess, on his master's work. Didn't see nothing wrong with it, and just continued to stack on top of it because the stars are infinitely distant. And no one thought to look into actually finding out the distance of it. So, oh gosh. That's chapter 1. How long? Okay, so technically I haven't been reading for an hour because I wasn't able to get going. So I'm gonna go ahead and read chapter 2. We're gonna go through chapter 2 and see how long that takes me. Maybe I'll stop giving so much commentary and we can actually get through the chapter. Excuse me, Andrew. Isn't the sun a star too, though? Oh, yes, that is a good question. According to them, it's a ball of gas that we can touch, and we can send probes to, and can send back messages and pictures without burning the fuck up. But we still can't get to the moon, which is a rock hanging in the atmosphere in the sky. Right? But that's what they say. That's what they say. All right. So chapter 2 is titled Copernicus and Galileo. Copernicus. Now these two I know. Free Flow says the sun is not a star. Yeah, the sun is not. I don't consider the sun a star. Sorry, I'm just reading through here. Yeah, I don't consider the sun a star. I don't know what it is. I was watching a video today that was talking about how it's a reflection of light off of the plasma dome, and just talking about plasma a lot. It was interesting. The sun is a great light to rule the day. I'm there with you. All right, so let's talk about Copernicus and Galileo. So Ptolemy was still the so Ptolemaic system of astronomy was still the astronomy of the world when Columbus discovered America in 1492. Huh? How? When didn't you say this was in? Well, oh, that's right. No, this is in second century AD, sir. Yeah, my bad. I was gonna be like, how do we jump backwards in time? I didn't know this was that kind of book. All right, so Paul, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say it. Ptolemaic system of astronomy was still the astronomy of the world when Columbus discovered America in 1492, but there was living at the time in the little town of Frankenberg in Prussia. Why is there a P in front of Russia? Is there another place called Prussia that's not Russia that I'm not aware of? Oh, hey, Bambi. What's up, girl? It's life itself. What's life? I mean, the sun? I don't know what I said that what it was. But I need some REL merch. Girl, I don't think I'm trying to do all that. I'm just trying to teach myself some stuff and start a conversation and give myself an environment that I like to be a part of. So I'm creating that environment for myself. I don't need no merch. I cannot imagine people walking around with like my name on. No. And isn't that weird? I wanted to be famous before, and I guess I would have had stuff like that if I had kept going. But anyway. Persia plus Russia is Prussia. Oh, okay. So it's like like they pushed the whole continent together. Prussia. Okay. So they're we're gonna start this sentence all over again. The Ptolemaic system was still the astronomy of the world when Columbus discovered America in 1492, but there was living in that time in the little town of Frankenberg in Prussia a youth of 18 who was destined in later years to overthrow the astronomy of Hippo and Ptolemy and to become himself the founder of a new theory which has since been universally accepted instead. Nicholas Copernicus. Now this guy I do remember. Bye. Are you leaving? Bye, Bambi. Thanks for stopping by. I love you. You should hit me up. We should go get lunch. It is to be remembered that at the time the Earth was believed to stand still, while the moon, sun, planets, and stars moved around it daily from east to west. It was stated by Ptolemy, but this did not seem reasonable to Copernicus. He was a daring and original thinker, willing to challenge any theory, be it ever so long established. Okay, so he was daring and original thinker, willing to challenge any theory, be it ever so long established. If it did not appear logical to him, he was contended that it was unreasonable to suppose that all the vast firmament of heavenly bodies revolved around this relatively little earth, but on the contrary, it was more reasonable to believe that the earth itself rotated and revolved around an enormous sun, moving within a firmament of stars that were fixed in infinite space. For in either case, the appearance of the heavens would be the same to the observer on the surface of the earth. Oh, Lord. So Nicholas Copernicus comes on the scene and says, "Oh, y'all old bags, y'all saying this? No, I got something else for you. I don't think that's it. I think that it's this idea." So he said the complete opposite, and that was just supposed to be it. This was the idea that inspired Nicholas Copernicus to labor for 27 years developing the heliocentric theory of the universe, and in compiling the book that made him famous, De Revolutionibus Orbium Corastium, which was published in the last year of his life, in 1543. You know, I took Latin in high school too, and I don't remember nothing. Everything is relative to them. Amen. Hang on, guys. I want some more tea. My tea is cold. Ugh. Sounds like Kaepernick. Brunch. Gold star for Slick. You got him. So where was I? Okay. Don't forget. So it took Copernicus 27 years to develop his theory of the universe and write a book that made him famous the year that he died. So he wasn't even around to see it. According to this, he wasn't even around to see it. He published the book after laboring for 27 years and then died. So sad. I mean, if he even died, who knows? And they know the fake deaths all the time, right? And now it is for us to very carefully study this fundamental idea of the heliocentric theory, for there is an error in it. Ptolemy had made it appear that the sun and stars revolved around a stationary Earth, but Copernicus advanced the theory that it was the Earth which revolved around a stationary sun while the stars were fixed. And either of these entirely opposite theories gives an equally satisfactory explanation of the appearance of the sun by day and the stars by night. I can agree with that. Anybody else agree with that? No, Prussia predates modern Germany. No. Well, yeah. It should. Prussia, it should. Because this was in 1492. So, I mean, I feel like that might predate Germany. Where was I? Oh, okay, yeah. We were there. I was saying that these two totally different opposite theories both give equally satisfactory explanations of the appearance of the sun by day and the stars by night. Copernicus did not produce any newly discovered fact to prove that Ptolemy was wrong. Ptolemy, that's what it is. So Copernicus did not produce any newly discovered fact to prove that Ptolemy was wrong. Neither did he offer any proof that he himself was right, but worked out his system to show that he could account for all the appearances of the heavens quite as well as the Egyptian had done, through working on an entirely different hypothesis, and offered his new heliocentric theory as an alternative. So he had no facts to prove. He literally just took the information that he had and spun it in a way that fit his theory. Let me go ahead and mark that, because that's something that needs to be highlighted next time. Claire, much appreciation to you, Claire. I appreciate you so much for allowing me to have this book. I promise to get it back to you. I promise to get it back to you ASAP. Okay. Oh, man. So we're back to no facts, no proofs, just saying you're wrong and I'm right, and I'm going to fit it to make it fit my theory. He argued that it was more reasonable to conceive the Earth to be rotating around the sun than it was to think that the sun revolved around the Earth, because it was more reasonable that the smaller body should move around the greater body. And that is good logic. We see that Copernicus recognized the physical law that the lesser shall be governed by the greater, and that is the pivot upon which the whole of his astronomy turns. But it is perfectly clear that in building up his theories, he assumed the Earth to be much smaller than the sun and also smaller than the stars. And that was pure assumption, unsupposed by any kind of fact. And that was pure assumption, unsupported by any kind of fact. In the absence of any proof as to whether the Earth or the sun was the greater of the two, and having only the evidence of the senses to guide him, it would have been more reasonable had he left astronomy as it was, seeing that the sun appeared to move around the Earth, while he himself was unconscious of any movement. Andrew, why can't we revolve around the moon? Ha! Thank you, right? It could have easily been the moon. They could have picked either one. And it picked either one. But it's sun because they have a little thing with sun worship, don't they? That's what they worship, don't they? So again, I just want to point out that in the absence of any proof as to whether the Earth or the sun was the greater of the two, and having only the evidence of the senses to guide him, it would have been more reasonable had he left astronomy as it was, seeing that the sun appeared to move around the Earth while he himself was unconscious of any movement. When he supposed the stars to be motionless in space, far outside the solar system, he was assuming them to be infinitely distant, relying entirely upon the statement made by Hippo 1700 years before. It is strange that he should have accepted this single statement of faith while he was in the very act of repudiating in the rest of astronomy. Repudiating? I don't know what this word means. I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna look it up. REPUDIATING. Define. How do you say it?
Repudiate.
Repudiate. To refuse to accept. To reject to reject as unauthorized or having no binding force. To reject as untrue or unjust. To refuse to acknowledge or pay. To refuse to have anything to do with. Repudiating. I have heard that word before. Okay, so it is strange that he should have accepted this single statement on faith while he was in the very act of repudiating all the rest of the astronomy of Hippo and Ptolemy, and but the fact remains that he did accept the infinitely distant doctrine without question, and that led him to suppose the heavenly bodies to be proportionately large. Hence, the rest of his reasonings followed as a matter of course. He saw that the geocentric theory of the universe, did not harmonize with the idea that the stars were infinitely distant, and so far we agree with him because they're way closer. Okay, sorry. He saw that the geocentric theory of the universe did not harmonize with the idea that the stars were infinitely distant, and so far we agree with him. He had, at that time, the choice of two courses open to him. He might have studied the conclusion which had been arrived at by Hipparchus and found the error there, but instead of doing that, he chose to find fault with the whole theory of the universe, to overthrow it, and invent an entirely new astronomy to fit the error of Hipparchus. Or I don't know, I'm just going to make up stuff, right? Of Hipparchus. Hipparchus. It's just not rolling off my tongue. It was the most unfortunate choice, but it is now made clear that the whole work of Copernicus depends upon the single question whether the ancient Greek was right or wrong when he said the heavenly bodies are infinitely distant. It is a very insecure foundation for the whole of Copernican or modern astronomy to rest upon, but such indeed is the case. Some 30 years after the publication of the work of Copernicus, Tycho Brahe Tycho Brahe, the Danish astronomer, and okay, so 30 years after the publication of Copernicus, this Danish astronomer invented the first instrument used in modern astronomy. It was a huge quadrant 19 feet in height, the forerunner of the sextant, which he used to very good purpose in charting out the proportions of many more conspicuous stars. He differed with some of the details of the Prussian doctor's theory, but accepted it in the main and took no account whatever of the question of the distance of stars. So everyone is just going off the fact that this guy said the stars are infinitely distant. Okay, yep, they're so far away. So let's go ahead and measure it. They're far away. That's it. I wasn't clear. Prussia was what Germany was called. Oh. Okay. And here I was. Whoever said that Prussia was Persia and Russia together, why you lie to me? Why you tell me wrong? Y'all wrong for that. In sterilium, over long periods of time, I think the northern stars go circle faster than the southern stars and are not fixed in position. Ooh. You know, we don't know how big the land is, but if it is bigger than we suppose, and maybe, like each quadrant or section like has its own like little circle, right? That it could be cool. I don't know. That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, so back to this. 30 years after the publication of Copernicus, some other guy built the first instrument. He built the first instrument that was 19 feet high in order to measure the distance of the stars, based on the fact that they are infinitely distant. All right, so that was so this is a Danish guy. Immediately following the Danish guy came Johannes Kepler, and it is a very remarkable circumstance that this German philosopher, mystic, and astrologer should have been the founder of what is now known as physical astronomy. Believer as he was in the ancient doctrine that men's lives are predestined and mysteriously influenced by the stars and planets, he nevertheless sought to discover some physical law which governed the heavenly bodies. As above, so below. Having accepted the Copernican theory that the sun was the center of the universe and that the earth and the planets revolved around it, it was but natural that all his reasonings and deductions should conform to those ideas. And so it is only to be expected that his conclusions dealing with the relative distances, movements, and masses of the planets, which he labored upon for many years, and which are now the famous laws of Kepler, should be in perfect accord with the heliocentric theory of Copernicus. But through the underlying principles of Kepler's work, will always but though the underlying principles of Kepler's work will always have great value, his conclusions cannot be held to justify Copernican's astronomy, since they are a sequel to it, but on the contrary, they will be involved in the downfall of the theory that gave them birth. Ooh. The laws of Kepler will be used to bring about the fall of the heliocentric theory on which it was based upon. Now that I'm ready to see. While the life work of Johannes Kepler was drawing to a close, that of Galileo was just beginning, and his name is more widely known in connection with modern astronomy than is that of its real inventor, Nicholas Copernicus. Galileo adopted the Copernican theory Galileo adopted the Copernican theory with enthusiasm and propagated it so vigorously that at one time he was in great danger of being burnt at the stake for heresy. In the year 1642, he invented the telescope. Okay, I didn't know this. So this guy invented the telescope in 1642. In 1642, he invented the telescope, and so may be said to have founded the modern method of observing the heavens. Zealous follower of Copernicus as he was, Galileo did much to make his theory widely known and commonly believed, and we may be sure that it was because he saw no error in it that other giants of astronomy who came after him accepted it more readily. Nearly 1800 years had passed since Hipparchus had said the heavenly bodies were infinitely distant. 1900 years, and still no one had questioned the accuracy of that statement, nor made any attempt whatever to measure their distance. It is interesting to mention here an event which at first sight might seem unimportant, but which now reviewed on its proper place in history can be seen to have a marked effect on the progress of astronomy as well as navigation. This was the publication of a little book called The Seaman's Practice by Richard Norwood. The Seaman's Practice by Richard Norwood in the year 1637. Now, still with me? We're in 1637 now. At that time, books of any kind were rare, and this was the first book ever written on the subject of measuring by triangulation. It was intended for the use of mariners, but there was no doubt that the Seaman's Practice helped King Charles II to realize how the science of astronomy would be made to render valuable service to British seamen in their voyages of discovery, with the result that in 1675, he appointed John Flamsteed to make a special study of the stars and to chart them after the manner of Tycho Brahe and Galileo, in order that the navigators might guide their ships by the constellations over the trackless oceans. Okay, so this little rare book is important, The Seaman's Practice by Mr. Norwood. was used by Charles II, and it was given to his Royal Navy so that they could use the constellations at sea. That was how the British School of Astronomy came into existence, with John Flamsteed as the first astronomer royal, employing only one assistant, with whom he shared a magnificent salary of £70 a year. £70 a year. I mean, we don't deal in pounds over here in the U.S. of A. The business, the corporation, U.S. of A. But £70 a year, I know in England is like Trump change, right? It's like probably a tub of shoes. It's probably like how gas used to be a quarter. I mean, I know I'm young, but I remember it used to be a lot like $1. And my cousins remember it being like 50 cents. Man, good times. Okay, so the first royal astronomer shared a magnificent salary of $70 a year with his assistant, and navigation owes much to the excellent work he did with an old-fashioned telescope mounted in a little wooden shed on Greenwich Hill. At about the same time, the French school of astronomy came into being, and the end of the 17th century began the most glorious period of the history of the science, when astronomers in England, France, and Germany all contested strenuously for supremacy and worshipped at the same shrine of Copernicus. All right, so that was chapter 2. I think I'm gonna stop at 2 chapters. That's good enough for me. I find this super fascinating, though. Who anybody else ready for or interested in this? Is this piquing anybody else's interest? Because so far, I'm just like, wow, how can that be okay? Because nobody has thought to go back and find out where we came up with this idea, who came up with it, and like what is it based on? Is it actually based on fact? And in the first 2 chapters have already told us that the first guy who ever tried to measure just said, oh, I can't measure it because they're too far away. And everybody after him has said, yeah, they're so far away and this is why. Or said, no, it's so far away and make up my own theory. Right? And then have no proof to back it up. And I that's crazy to me. And this is what our entire education system is based off of right now. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and say that next week we can try for chapters 3 and 4. Since I did 2 chapters this week, we'll try for 3 and 4 next week. And hopefully I will be able to put together a better stream with my one link. I much apologies again for whatever happened, because I don't know why. And I was just like, I just gotta end it. Like, I just want to stop. Like, I can't listen to this anymore. I don't know what's happening. So chapters 1 and 2 have been done. Thanks, Andrew. It was fun. I appreciate you. Love your energy, girl. Yes. Have a good night, Eric. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. Yep, I'm going to. It's 11. It's late. I got to get up in the morning. But I'm glad I did this. And I can't wait to find out more. I know that the more we read, we're going to be, getting more into geometry, and I'm going to try. I'm going to do some more research on these Greek and Egyptian names so I can say them correctly. And I'm going to be back. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you for being here. One big love back at you guys. I appreciate you. I think just since I opened in prayer, I'm going to go ahead and close in prayer because, you know, I invited the creator of the universe to come and listen to me read right now. So I think I need to thank him for being here and for allowing me to get through this. So Yahuwah, this has been fun. I'm so glad I finally got my first week under my belt, regardless of the technical difficulties. Y'all, this information it's a lot, and I pray that my brain can retain it. You know, the words and the numbers when they finally come. I want to be able to adequately explain what I'm learning. So I just pray, God, that you would just continue to open my spiritual eyes and ears and brain to your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, your intuition. And thank you for everyone who came and watched. I appreciate it. I pray that this stream will continue to bless anybody who watches it, and that they learn you through anything that they watch on my channel. So praise be you, Father God. You are great. You are awesome, and all of you guys are awesome too. I appreciate you for being here. Oh, Pepper. Hey, Pepper. Hi. Oh, gosh, you're a friend from Discord. Hey, girl. I'm so glad your laundry tip was fast. I'm glad I could read for you. I think I'm going to be on live with Free Flow Rant. No, I think I'm getting confused because I saw Free Flow there. What is it? Is it Free Flow? It might be. That's going to be tomorrow night, so I'm going to read some more. And tomorrow, so I'll post that link when I get it, I guess. Much love, everybody. I appreciate you for being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And since I wasn't able to do my intro, I'm going to go ahead and do my outro. For my little segment that I have here. Ooh, if I can get it to do. I need one thing to go right for me. Let's see. Here we go. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. I love you guys. Come back next week, 9:30 on Tuesday.